Do's and don'ts in the makeup world of 2024. We're being taught so many things and being told so many ways and tips and tricks in order to make your face look younger, youthful, and you have it all wrong. I've been a model for the past 7-8 years, and I've been in the makeup chair with professionals doing my makeup constantly. And I'm seeing the things they're doing and the way the styles have been changing. But the way social media is teaching people to do their makeup is all wrong. Just so you can see before we get into this side is done incorrectly and this side is done correctly. If you don't want your skin to look like it's aging, please follow these tips and tricks. I swear by them. I taught my mom these tips and tricks, and she's 63 and she saw such a big difference in her makeup, and I see her skin and I'm like, wow, you look amazing at 10 p.m. and you did your makeup 10 hours ago. So it's really impressive to see the way that makeup can last if you just do the proper steps. So in this video, let's just go through all the steps together and I'll show you what not to do versus what to do. So let's get into it. The number one most important, do not miss this step, is skin prep. And if you don't prep your skin, your makeup is not gonna last very long. It's not gonna look very glowy and dewy, radiant, youthful, all the things that we want. For my skin prep, I have the Balm Diggity. This is like a magic potion. I've talked about it so many times on my TikTok. It's the BOBBI Brown, it's the Vitamin Enriched face base. And I put this on under my makeup, so I'm just gonna obviously do one side of my face to show you. But I just rub it in with my fingers, just like a regular moisturizer. If you don't moisturize your skin before or put any prep on, it's just not gonna look as good as it would if you did, because your skin is what you're trying to make look better. And if you put makeup on a dry or oily kind of base, then it's just not gonna look good. So please, please, please don't be lazy and miss this step. My mom came over and she was getting ready with me and she just goes straight in with foundation and I could have died. I was like, ah! If you want something as a makeup base, the BOBBI Brown Vitamin Enriched face base is the best. Number two is how you apply your foundation or your SPF tint, whatever you're using. I'm gonna be using a BOBBI Brown just to like keep it in the same family. This is a Weightless Skin Foundation, newest favorite foundation for anybody who wants more of that like not trying hard, you can't see it on the skin, it's just glowy, healthy. It's definitely not gonna cover up that much, but it's buildable. So I'm gonna be showing you guys how I use this foundation improperly. Straight on the brush, and then I would just like swipe it on the face like this and pretty much call it a day. I actually can't see anything on the skin because I just took away all that foundation. And also, I don't know if you can see on the camera, but there are streaks, especially right in here from this brush. So if you don't go over it with a beauty blender like this, then your makeup is just gonna look streaky, patchy, it's gonna be dry, especially because you didn't have a base on either. If you're also doing it improperly, maybe another tactic that you would do is take a dry beauty blender, put it directly on the dry beauty blender, swipe it on, or even dabbing it on, you can see that it just is so patchy. I'm not trying to do an awful job. I'm just trying to be fast, because I feel like if you're somebody who's doing your makeup incorrectly, it's probably because you're just like slapping it on. Now I'm gonna show you how to do it correctly. Instead of using a dry beauty blender and swiping it on the face, use a damp beauty blender that has more bounce to it. Like this one doesn't really have that. Think about like filling the pores and then making sure it's damp, so like wringing out any excess water. Then instead of going directly on the sponge, put it on the back of your hand. Most makeup artists will use multiple shades, different textures, different colors. For example, instead of using one type of foundation, I'm gonna also use this. It's a skin tint, it's lighter weight, it's more glowy, it has more of just like a more depth of color. So if you use these in combination, don't be afraid to like mix foundations if you have two favorite ones. See how they work together. So this is one that I'm gonna put a couple drops in, and then I'm gonna use my beauty blender and just kind of like give it a good mix. You could even put like a glow serum in now. You could even put your primer in with this to dilute it, but you're just gonna use the beauty blender then and tap it in and blend it on the skin, and it's just gonna make your skin look like itself but better, instead of covered up by a bunch of layers of streaky makeup that has no life to it. Like all we're trying to do is just give our makeup life. You can see this side is just not as lively. Another thing people do with their foundation is put on way too much in one layer. If you want coverage Don't do it all in one layer, do it in multiple layers. So less amount, blend it in. If you see that you need more, go in with a little bit more and do the process over. So then going in, dispersing the product on the back of my hand, making sure that it's evenly distributed, and then go in everywhere. And I don't put foundation under my eyes. For concealer today, I'm going to be using the Tower 28 concealer, and this is in color K-Town. It's my favorite ride or die, the best ever concealer I've ever used. I kind of have drier, more wrinkly under eyes, and I prefer like medium coverage because I don't want it to be too heavy. So doing it improperly, I see a lot of people go like this, right? Because they're trying to like make this triangle situation here. They go all the way up to the top and then there. And what I'll see people do is just swipe it in, boom, done. You know, it's definitely not great, but it gets the job done. Putting too much concealer on will just make your makeup piece together and look more wrinkly. Instead, very specifically, we're gonna put the concealer a little bit lower, kind of right where that divot is, just here, a tiny triangle and like a little bit on the end. I honestly don't always do this. I guess I do sometimes, but it doesn't need to happen. And then with this brush, because if you don't have it, you need it. It's the OMNIA BOM 260 Fire. I think it's like $12 and you get it from their website, but there's just something about the way the brush is. Instead, you're going to work it into the skin, but you're not going to do it really close to the under eye because that's the area that your makeup will kind of like build up and look cakey. So I want to just like gently go under the eye and just do dabbing motions in and out. And if you want to add more concealer after that, you totally can. Another thing I like to do is take a dry Q-tip, I've talked about this before, and I go under the eye just to make sure I didn't get too much product there where my eyes crease, under the eye, on the eyelid. I'll sometimes even take the concealer onto the lid just to get rid of any redness there. But I'll also take away where that crease is. That's my under eye hack. It's just not too much on the inner corners. For the powder that I know is trending, everyone talks about it. It's the Huda Beauty Cupcake Powder. I bought this because everyone was talking about it. And I was like, all right, what's the hype? I guess, you know, I'll try it. And I just want to show you why I don't like it. Because when I talk about it, everyone's like, oh my gosh, no, it's the best powder I've ever used. I just want you to see it for yourself because people argue with me all the time. So what I'm going to do on the incorrect side, I'm still going to use one of these powder puffs that I get from Amazon that I feel like everyone has at this point and they always talk about. I'm going to go into the powder like this, just one press, and then I'm just going to go under the eyes and essentially bake, which is a trending thing right now, putting too much powder under the eyes like this, just to like brighten them and make them look more flat. And then going into the smile lines. On this side, I'm going to be using the Invisimatte Universal Powder, pressed powder from Fenty Beauty. And I'm just going to go into the powder, rub some off on my hand, and then go in under my eyes. And just under my eyes, and then a little on my nose. That's the only area that I'm going to put powder. I'm going to let the rest of my skin be skin. I bring you in really close. I want you to be able to see the difference in the under eyes. This one is done correctly, this one is done incorrectly. It's just so powder buildup and like thickness in the concealer, like it just does not read well, versus this side is like pretty indetectable. Let's talk about contour. Where to contour, how to contour. Everyone's doing this thing where they're drawing it on their face. For somebody who's new at it, I don't trust you to put this stick of contour in your face without blending it properly. I even was on a walk with my friend this morning and I saw a big line of makeup. How to prevent that? This is how. This is how we do it incorrectly. We are gonna go onto the face right here. This is the WESTMAN Atelier Contour Stick in Biscuit, and I love this one so much. It's a perfect color. It blends in really easily. It's foolproof. Honestly, this isn't gonna look that bad. Go on the back of your hand, get rid of some of that product like this, Then with an angled brush, you're gonna just go in, and the reason I do this is to warm up the product, to disperse it evenly on the brush so you have a more balanced and controlled way to apply it, and then always bouncing and doing it in that kind of a motion. You can see how this is going on just like slowly, and not forgetting to get the top of the forehead. This Makeup by Mario F3 brush is my favorite for blending out my contour. It just fits really nicely in the hollows of my cheeks and I press it in. But to do it incorrectly, I have this brush. This one's from Morphe. It's the E4, also angled. You can see the difference in these brushes. This one is a lot more dense and firm, and this one is a lot more like malleable and just not gonna hold up. So it kind of like blends too widely versus the other one kind of like holds its shape better. So I would say people probably do this on their cheek and then just like blend it in like this, right? Like kind of going crazy. What happens is you kind of like blend in this area too much. I don't want that. I want it to just go here. This is going there, and then I'm just gonna like do the same. Oh my gosh, this is paining me to not like blend it in by dabbing it. It just doesn't, it's just not giving. It's just dry and like piecey, patchy. This side's like moisturized and supple and balanced. Blush that I'm gonna be using today is Rosy by SAIE, and they're just applying like these dots. I feel like most people would probably just smile. A trending thing that's driving me insane is people are going like literally all the way up to where their concealer is and blending in like this, all the way up. Instead, go on the back of your hand with your blush. I love this brush from SAIE. It's just like the perfect, you can see how it's kind of angled. It's dense, but not too dense. Disperse the product evenly. Smile, put it on in a dabbing motion and make circles and kind of like bringing it up to the hairline, but not too much. At one point, I was putting so much product here, blended in really nicely with my contour. Over here, the contour is like not even visible because of the way that I just smeared it in, and the skin was already dry to begin with. And then the blush just like going on top of it doesn't balance well and it doesn't blend properly. We put cream on cream on cream, and that just like evens out everything and it makes it look so nice. Again, for the eyelids, going in with the back of the hand and then dabbing it on the lid, because this just makes it look like one cohesive makeup look. I love when my eyes match my cheeks and kind of match my lips. It just makes it look, you just look more put together that way. For brows today, I'm going to be using the NYX Brow Glue Brow Gel. The trend, people love the laminated brow. Just making our brow hairs stick straight up to the sky as if we have been electrocuted. Instead, go in with a tiny, tiny bit in a really light hand. Like, don't press all the bristles in. You just want a really light hand and just like brush them up and out so that they stay up, but not like glued to the ceiling. I love when my hairs just are like a little bit thicker than they would be, so that's what the gel really helps with. The difference. You can definitely tell that one, for sure. To fill in my brows, I'm just gonna use this E.L.F. brow pencil. An issue that I would have in the past is kind of like filling them in while they're still wet. And also, people will just go over it like this and like draw full-blown lines to fill in the whole brow. It's like kind of messy because you fill it in with like full brow strokes. All I need to really do is fill in, make hair strokes, teeny tiny little minuscule hair strokes like this, just on the end, picking up the pencil every time between strokes. If you put the brow gel in first and then you go in to fill in, you can really see where the sparse spots are versus filling in the whole brow, because I really don't need to fill in the entire thing. That way my hair just still looks like it's hair. Also with the brow shape, you can go like this and you can draw a straight line to see where your brows should end, and also go here to see where your brows should begin. So the first thing to do with lashes is to make sure that they're curled. So I'm gonna just do that on my right side. On the left side, I'm just gonna go in straight with a black mascara. I'm gonna do the top and bottom lashes, and then I'm gonna do it differently on this side and show you the difference. I'm using the Hourglass mascara. I really love this one. I feel like it does separate the lashes for the most part. It's a little bit thicker which is not generally what I would go for unless I'm going for like a full glam look. Okay, so this is the eyelashes on one side. I'm using a black mascara. I did the top and bottom lashes, and you can see it is just like thicker, a little bit too much. Instead, I'm gonna use this SWEED Cloud Mascara. It's becoming my favorite one. I also love, for my complexion, for my hair color, for my face, I just love using more of a brown, softer, more gentle colors that are still darker, that aren't like black. I'm gonna use this SWEED Cloud Mascara in dark brown on my little like link for all of these products underneath this video. I'm gonna go in to the root and kind of like wiggle it in and then just gently pull through, and not like blinking each time. I'm just gonna try and get each individual lash, and I'm not gonna do the bottom lashes. I get these spoolies off of Amazon, and I use one of them and I bend it like this, and I just try and get rid of some of that mascara if there are any eyelash clumps. So this is the difference. Black bottom lashes, thick clumpy, not thick clumpy, brown. Didn't do the bottom lashes. It just makes me look fresh and youthful versus like heavy. Honestly, I think it ages me. For lip liner, I'm gonna use the Pat McGrath Labs. This is in color Structure. It's a really nice fall color. I'm gonna show you how to do it incorrectly first. Just doing the liner and doing a full sweep all the way around, like, okay, now let me do it correctly. So I like to sharpen my lip liner, but before I even go in with lip liner, I use something just like a lip balm, right? Like a super simple, not tinted lip balm. And the reason I like to do this is because although it might not make my lip liner last as long, it makes it look more natural and blended. I don't want like a harsh lip liner. I want it to just give my lips a little bit more color because I want it to fade out a little bit. I want my lips to look a little bit bigger than they are. See this like little shadow under my lip? I kind of extra define that because it can be, because it's naturally darker. And then I follow this arch, and then I'll fill in the rest of my lips. Then I take my ring finger and I kind of like just soften that line. You can see the difference. This side is just like very defined and you can see it. And this side definitely just looks like my lips, but they have like a deeper hue to it. Really much better in my opinion. And in terms of lip gloss, REFY lip gloss, I'm just gonna put it on both sides because I feel like that's kind of something people don't generally mess up. Moving on to the last and final step, and that is highlighter. People love using a shimmery highlight. This one's from Jouer and it's actually a blush duo, but because I don't like this look at all, I actually don't have any glittery highlighters in my collection because it just doesn't look good on my skin. If you have dry skin, if you have texture skin, putting glitter anywhere on your face is gonna only make it look worse. If you use like this glittery highlighter and then you go on the high points of your cheeks here, I get smile lines, I have wrinkles there. Putting glitter in my wrinkles and bringing like attention to those areas versus what I'm about to show you on this side. This is my holy grail highlighter. It is from WESTMAN Atelier and it has this like magnet close. Yes, it's more on the expensive side. The color is lit up, but you can see it's just like really muted. Again, with the back of the hand, you can see what this does in the light. I hope you can at least. Almost just kind of makes your skin look dewy and hydrated. And I go in with my two fingers, my ring finger and my index finger, and right on the high points of the cheek, I just gently blend in. Look at that compared to this side. So just for a full comparison with the completed makeup look, this side is incorrect and this side is correct. I hope this tutorial helped you guys. Please like, subscribe, do all the things because it really helps me. If you have any video suggestions or things you want to see, this is the completed makeup look. I hope you guys enjoyed and I will see you in my next video.